Like I've actually been like going through a mini little depression reading all this news. I will do that though. I just need to set up a new account through the new email. Maybe I'll do that when I'm done today. Thank you. Like, sub, call, man. Just realizing some of these things are now majority opinions in the US is really scary. Just knowing like Nazism and stuff. I'm getting TMJ again, bro. Too much Jola is TMJ. Make your jaw get all tight, bro. Alright, what should the poll be? Wait, 430 employees? Nice, okay. Perfect. DEI squirrel. Yeah, it's true. DEI squirrel. We need some more fun taglines to use for everything. When you said squirrel, I looked over my shoulder really quick. That's so funny. That's so cool. A white hawk versus a black hawk. Oh my goodness.
Tweeted at 11:30 p.m. your time. This war and suffering could have easily been avoided if Biden administration / NATO.
And like every news story right now is essentially like, wow, look at the Democrats getting all frantic at this trial. They think this matters? Huh. Well, they're on my team. They're good guys.
Moment that Russian tanks were rolling across the peaceful border of Ukraine for the first time.
Now, what if Tulsi's not a foreign agent and she just had Assad as a hookup? What if her and Assad just had like a relationship going on, you know what I mean? Like a casual fling with Assad. Maybe that's why she went there, you know? It was sneaky, a sneaky link. It might be that, you know?
Time you tweeted at 11:30 p.m. your time. This war and suffering could have easily been avoided if Biden administration / NATO had simply acknowledged Russia's legitimate security concerns regarding Ukraine's becoming a
direct Russian propaganda, by the way. Direct Russian propaganda. Her saying that.
Member of NATO. Did you say that, yes or no?
I believe you're reading my tweet, Senator.
Yes is the.
Why can't they just say yes to questions? They're so slammy. They can't even say yes. Like, I believe you're reading my tweet. It's like arguing with the dumbest person in the world. The most immature people. The most toxic relationship possible. Yes, that is my tweet.
Answer. A few months later, you said on your podcast, and I quoted it, quote, but this regime change war against Russia that the U.S. and NATO are waging via their proxy in Ukraine didn't begin when Putin invaded Ukraine. They had their eyes set on this objective long before that.
Wait,
Did
my thing
you
is
say
probably
that,
on.
yes or no?
I believe you're
okay.
reading my tweet.
Thank
There's
you.
a lot more.
Again, bro. I believe you're reading my tweet.
Yes.
You're quoting a podcast that
I'm
provided
happy
much
to have
more
a conversation
context.
with the chairman about whether I'm taking anything out of context. I don't think I am. And your answer is yes. Are you aware that your comments about proxy wars and Russia's legitimate security concerns, to quote your own words, are in alignment with what the Russians have said to justify their invasion of Ukraine? Yes or
Senator,
no?
I don't pay attention to Russian
So I'll
propaganda.
take
My
that as
goal is to
I'll
speak
take
the
that as
truth,
the answer is no.
regardless of whether
Thank
you like it or not.
I'll take it. That's fine. You said you are used to speaking truth to power.
Yes.
I'm shocked to hear you now say that, you know, you are agreeing. I'm not shocked because I know you said it. You are agreeing that you basically said that Putin was justified in rolling over the peaceful border of Ukraine, the first time since World War II that a free nation had been invaded by a totalitarian state. And you were there at 11:30 p.m. that night to say that you were with them, not us.
By the way, right-wingers posted this clip, and they said, wow, look how emotional this liberal is. He's so emotional. He's so feminine. He's so feminine, bro. These liberals love screaming, bro. These emotional, feminine liberals love screaming about nonsense that doesn't matter. That's what the right wing approaches to politics, and people love it. People love that approach because they don't need to think critically about it at all. They're beta soy boys. That's why he's upset. He's offended, bro. He's offended.
And let me tell you something. You say you don't know because you don't read Russian propaganda. Russian state TV then aired your comments. Did you know that?
Senator, I think you should also quote the statement that I made criticizing Putin for his invasion
What
of
I
Ukraine.
would say, Mr. Chairman, with the last, it's up to all of us. We're the Senate. We get to decide whether.
When did Tulsi criticize Russia? When was the first time she criticized Russia? What date was that?
Confirm this nominee. Obviously, we didn't select this nominee. But can't we do better than somebody who doesn't believe in 702? Can't we believe that somebody who can't answer whether Snowden was a traitor 5 times today, who made excuses for Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, the first time that I'm aware of any American official has done that?
She said a huge geopolitical error, she said.
Call from
Hello?
So, is this true about Donald Trump hate Americans?
Yeah, he does, bro. I heard it.
Well, how do you find this out?
How do I find it out? How do I know?
Yeah, because I don't hear anything about the news about it.
Well, he said he hates America, bro. I don't know. That's crazy.
Well,
Crazy thing to
what's
say.
going to happen after? What happened when the American happened hate?
America?
Yes.
Yeah, bro. He
Well,
likes
what's gonna
Russia
happen?
and China more than us.
What?
He's cheating on us with Russia and China. It's so sad.
Oh, okay. Question. When is gonna happen when Donald Trump hates the president? Or no, not the president. My bad. American. Huh? Wow.
When is he gonna do what?
When is gonna happen when he hates Americans?
Well, he's probably gonna ruin our relationship with all of our allies, right? He's gonna do tariffs on a bunch of countries and get us in trade wars and probably actual wars. He's gonna do giveaways for China and Russia like he's doing right now. So I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff happening, and he's gonna lie about the plane crash that happened yesterday.
Oh, it's kind of like a war crime. Like it's gonna start right now. Like that?
Someday.
Okay.
I don't know why I do this. Perfect. Beautiful. Kash Patel is one of the... So, Kash Patel lied so much today. It was painful. One lie, for example, was Kash saying to Amy Klobuchar, very condescendingly, he did not recall saying Trump has every right to tell the world that that the election was rigged in 2020, 2016, every other election, because they were rigged. So Trump has the right to tell people that. Kash Patel said he doesn't remember, bro. He does not remember.
Donald Trump has every right to tell the world that he won the 2020 election. That is not an illegal position to take. He has every right to tell the world that the 2020 and 2016 and every other election in between was rigged by our government, because they were. Donald Trump.
Bro, what kind of drugs do you think he does? He makes so much money from his dumb merch. A lot of money from the merch. It's all about like cosplaying. But it works though, because every person Trump is choosing for these positions is a reality television star. They need to be good on camera. They need to be good on camera.
The Capitol Police in that fake January 6th committee, they didn't tell the truth, did they?
No, not just them.
So the January 6th police, okay, did not tell the
And the
truth.
others. And they lying under oath is a federal offense.
Lying under oath is a federal offense as he lies under oath. Remember, these people don't care. Remember, like, they're lying to you. Remember when you're talking to one of these guys, or if you talk to someone who sounds like them, they're lying to you. They know they're lying to you. They're bad people. Our goal with this channel is to reach the people who are not bad people, who are just lied to, you know? That's our goal. That is our goal with this channel.
Testimony in every single one of their cronies. I don't just mean them. I mean Lisa Monaco. I mean John Carlin. I mean the deputy director of the FBI, the new head of counter intel. All of these people. Once we lock in their testimony under oath, when Trump wins in 2024 and is in power in 2025 in January, we can prosecute them for an actual RICO statute violation for criminally organizing the United States government to break the law to rig presidential elections. The kicker is,
Nice. He lied about all of these. He lied about all of them.
who helped Joe Biden. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice. Yes, we're going to.
Beautiful. He said it was a false accusation, that he called for the shutting down of FBI headquarters.
Next day, I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. I'd shut down.
Beautiful. Enemy of the deep state. Meanwhile, he did support Patriot Act being expanded. So, I mean, there's one thing. To steal American data. But yeah, I saw this chart too about the timeline of Trump's federal aid shutdown. And this chart is kind of painful. This chart is painful to look at from Chris Murphy. And I want to know where their comms people are. What kind of media people do they have? Like, this is a terrible chart. It's hard to read. It hurts my eyeballs on every screen I've looked at it in. It's not laid out in a way that makes sense. Like, it's just not good. This is not good stuff. It's not high quality. We need something that's better than this, okay? This orange is obnoxious. You can use orange in a different way that makes sense. It's hard to follow the line here. Like, you should probably just have it be more simple. You can't have paragraphs as well. So, like, Office of Management and Budget releases a memo directing federal agencies to pause all federal funding assistance or federal financial assistance to allow the administration to evaluate programs for wokeness. So right here you just say, Trump shuts down all funding unconstitutionally, lying about wokeness. You can cut these words in 1/3 probably. In response to the confusion they created, OMD publishes a Q&A document walking back their initial memo in response to public outcry. You probably just say, after the public, what would be the best way to, how can we summarize that? In response to the confusion they created, not confusion, in response to public pushback, all right, just say Trump, don't say OMB, say Trump's White House or whatever, published a document walking back their moves or whatever, like because they got yelled at. A little bit more simple. A district court judge granted an administrative stay ordering OMD to refrain from implementing the freeze. Just be like, I don't know. A judge upholds the Constitution, blocks Trump's defunding. Key Trump advisor Stephen Miller proudly declares that the freeze will not affect programs Americans rely on. Full stop. Just say Trump lies. Okay, just like say Trump lies. You don't gotta, like, it's just so, I don't know, dude. It's just gross. It's not good graphic design at all, brother. It's hard to read. You don't want something hard to read.
The claims that you've made are
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
Is this what I show on YouTube?
Yo, what's up?
Dude,
What's up?
it's cracking.
Nothing. Bye. What's up? Hello. You're on here. You're on here if you're listening. Nice.
In coordination very strongly, obviously, with the military.
names of the
This is a good one. Trump just embarrassed Caitlin Collins. Collins, we don't know the names, and you're blaming Democrats/DEI. Do you think you're getting ahead of the investigations? No, that's not a very smart question. I'm surprised coming from you.
flying that Black Hawk helicopter. Don't you think you're getting ahead of the investigation right now?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think with the names of the people, you mean the names of the people that are on the plane, you think that's going to make a difference? They are,
cover their families
they are
during
a
blaming
group of
DEI
people that have
policies?
lost their lives. If you want a list of the names, we can give you that. We'll be giving that very soon. We're in
Now, the point of this question and the phrasing is obviously, like, this is such a dumb way to answer the question, obviously. If you're any, like, reasonable person, you know she means, this is very soon, all right? There's no investigations. Why are you talking about these policies that you claimed to end a week ago and lying about it? But she can't push back against them because they'll kick her out of the room. They'll kick her out of the room. That's why CNN needs to kowtow to the right-wing talking points all the time. But obviously she means, why are you lying about this? It happened 10 hours ago. Why are you saying it's about DEI? And we all knew, by the way, when this happened, Trump was going to blame it on DEI. We just did not know how soon he was going to blame it on DEI. It was going to be blamed on black people or something. And the fact that this is Trump embarrassing Caitlin Collins when he barely sounds like he's able to speak in general is insane. But they judge people just by, bro, I could not watch this. When RFK said to Bernie Sanders that Bernie Sanders is corrupt for Big Pharma because Bernie got a lot of donations from workers that worked for pharmaceutical companies, from the workers, watching Bernie get called corrupt by RFK of all people actually broke my brain a little bit. It actually broke my brain, bro. If people, like, there's people on Twitter, a huge amount of people talking about Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders being the top two corrupt politicians on the side of Big Pharma, saying they are the two politicians the most corrupted by Big Pharma money, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. Which, if you know anything about the world, if you're able to breathe, okay, and walk outside, you know that's one of the dumbest lies of all time. And they go off this, for example, this list of donations, which accumulate all the donations you get from a certain industry, from their workers. So Bernie's number here is all from donations from that were less than $200, all small dollar donations, because the employees of these companies donated to Bernie Sanders. The executives did not. Bernie Sanders had no super PACs, no PACs at all. And it's also hilarious because RFK's entire campaign was funded by a billionaire, Nicole Shanahan, whose entire wealth is from her husband that she divorced, who was a CEO for Google or an executive for Google. And she's going around on Twitter threatening people if they vote against him, that she's going to, like, fund an opposition campaign or a primary challenger for some politicians. But yeah, saying Bernie Sanders, if you're in a place in life where you think Bernie Sanders is on the side of Big Pharma, all right, corrupted by Big Pharma, I don't know. I don't even know what I could do for you. It's one of the most wild things I've ever heard in my entire life. It's crazy. Why is this chat filled with Trump simps? It's YouTube Shorts, and they're probably bots too. Democrats are crooks. Bernie Sanders, the one person who, probably more than any person in American history, stood up against pharmaceutical companies. Like, that's Bernie's entire thing, is pharmaceutical companies hate him for being anti-big money, okay? RFK is anti-medicine. That's why he's anti-pharmaceutical. Bernie's anti-profiting off of medicine. Bernie thinks medicine's good and should be given to people and provided, or people should be, you know, allowed to access some sort of health care. RFK is anti-pharmaceutical because he's anti-medicine.
That's to put it mildly. The president took a lot of heat today, that's to put it mildly, for bringing up the issue of DEI when, you know, the folks out there were saying, oh, we just need the consoler in chief. We need information, not speculation. But
Yeah, usually when you're a leader of anything, your job is not to be a dumbass. Okay, your job is to give direction and make sure you have facts, not just to blame minorities for everything. You know, it doesn't help the allegations that all Trump can do is open up camps for immigrants and blame minorities for literally every problem in the world after he is responsible for freezing hiring for air traffic controllers, trying to buy out federal employees, trying to buy out air traffic controllers, not having an FAA head. Okay, Trump did all this stuff that led to this crash and will lead to more damage, more unsafety in the air. But he blamed DEI because he knows Americans are easily scared by things like that. I hope Americans are able to see past it. I really do. But it's sad that so many Americans are believing that dumb lie. It's DEI, bro. Is DEI in the room with you right now?
He wasn't pulling that from thin air. I want to
Yeah,
show everyone
he was pulling it from thin air. The policy for the FAA and for air traffic controllers, the policy for hiring has been the same since 2013, okay? It's been the same since 2013. Trump said that Obama ruined it, then I guess he did nothing too. Biden did nothing to change the standard, but he claimed Obama ruined it and Biden ruined it, just blaming Democrats for anything. The standard for hiring has not changed. What has changed is Trump essentially pausing and freezing the hiring for air traffic controllers.
FAA deputy administrator had to say back in 2023. Watch.
We need a diverse group of air traffic controllers to bring distinct perspectives to handle the ever-changing aerospace landscape. I'm calling on students and alumni from HBCUs, Hispanic serving institutions, and tribal colleges to apply now. We need a diverse next generation air traffic workforce.
Laura.
How dare they say that they are open to different backgrounds coming to work for them? How dare they open up their avenues? That's crazy. That's a radical statement, bro. MLK said something like that, bro. MLK, radical, loser. MLK, you know, most Americans would hate MLK right now, by the way. And the same Americans that are anti-DEI right now as their main policy would have hated MLK in the civil rights movement. They would have hated it. They would have hated MLK. But it's just stupid. It's dumb. They're saying more students apply in this field of work because there's been shortages here for a while. So they tried different tactics to get workers from different areas and different backgrounds. It makes sense. It's logical. If you get offended by this, you're a baby beta. You're a baby beta. Okay? You're emotional. Take a second to think. They say the same stuff for white people too. When they say we need real hard working class Midwestern, they make things appeal to white people too. They have Wrangler jeans in the commercials to appeal to white people. They do this stuff. They pander to different cultures if they want people to work for them or if they want to sell to a certain consumer base. That's what companies do. That's what organizations do. It makes sense. You're just saying we want to reach out to different groups to hire more people. That's the whole point. Complaining about this is stupid. Make sure you drop a like on the stream, hit subscribe. If you want to call in with the number up top. The number up top you can call in. But this is just like a dumb thing to complain about. I think people today
looking at that going, why does that have anything to do with competence to secure our safety?
And there's been no, like, just in general, making this an issue is the most racist thing you could possibly do. And I will call it racism. I don't call, for example, singing along to the rap lyrics. I don't call that racism, by the way. But this is purely racism. They had no proof. There is no proof that anyone who is not white was involved. And also, there's staffing shortages. And Trump wants to blame anyone but himself. He wants to not lead. He wants to have no responsibility at all, even at a very bare minimum, for what his responsibility is during a crisis like this. The idea that DEI makes people hire unqualified candidates is wholly untrue. The main thing that makes people hire unqualified candidates is legacy, money, connections. Like, Tucker Carlson's son working for J.D. Vance, for example. Buckley Carlson, or whatever his name is. Buckley Carlson? Sorry. But yeah, that's the real diversity hire. Sorry, I didn't mean, dude, I did not mean to say Cuckley Barlson. I'm sorry. That was tough. All right, you can call in now. The phone lines are open. It is very effed up. Yeah, Elon Musk had the FAA guy fired because they fined SpaceX for safety failures. I'm not flying, bro. I'm staying away from them planes, bro. Not gonna lie. I'm staying away from those planes. Wait, where are people? Wait a second. Wait. Let me refresh this because I'm not getting the calls. I'll call you back. Take it. Hi, this is Joel Talks Politics. What's up? See, that's another one of those things. Another one of those things. Nothing but a G thing, baby. Hi, this is Joel Talks Politics. What's up?
So just wondering, where do you get your information from?
God.
Great response, 10 out of 10. Okay, so let me ask you then, where are you getting the idea that every single bit of information, instead of trying it and testing it to make sure that it's actually true, you just use it as factual right off the bat instead of taking it through a process?
Like what?
The fact that the part where the helicopter crashing, the airplanes crashing are at the fault of Trump instead of it being a situation that goes on continuously. It's not just in this current administration that it's happening.
So Biden had 0 issues like this. Biden had one, Trump had one within the first week, right? So within 10 days of being president. Biden had 0 in his 4 years. So my big pushback is on the idea that DEI hires is causing an issue here, obviously, because if it was, that'd be an actual thing we can measure in some sense. But also, would you not agree that like Donald Trump cutting FAA agents and also having no FAA head, he did not appoint one. There's been no one in charge for 10 days. There's been a hiring freeze. He's been buying out federal workers. And one of the largest issues that we saw in the actual report is that the towers were understaffed. The staffing was weird at this airport. And the one controller in the tower was talking to multiple aircraft. So like the plane and the helicopter at the same time. That's usually a 2-person job. One person was doing it. Do you not agree that like Trump freezing federal hiring and doing federal buyouts and not making sure that we have proper staffing in these areas, you don't think that could have contributed?
I'm not necessarily saying that I don't think that, but you also have to look into the fact that the reason why that was being done in the first place wasn't known immediately, first off. Second off, most of the reason why it's happening, and a lot of people speculate that it's because under Biden administration, it was a bunch of funds going through non-government organizations and being redirected to other places that they wanted to put funding into.
Funding for what?
Trying to keep just non-government organizations that aren't related to the government.
Yeah, NGOs for what? For what budget are you talking about?
A bunch of different things. He's trying to figure out where all the money was going that they were spending that was not being kept track of.
Well, they have a good idea of this. You realize you're saying a bunch of things after you called into my stream saying that you should have something like more of a basis of fact. You don't know where this funding's going, right? Why are you having an opinion on it then, by your own standard?
Okay, but your immediate stance is to blame Trump for everything.
So
every single time I've seen your stream, it's always been against
Are you
Trump.
hearing my words or just having your emotions? Because I'm talking about the aircraft, I'm talking about the air control. I'm talking about the controllers. And I'm saying that we have already a shortage. Okay, there's already been a shortage for a long time, and Trump freezing hiring while also trying to buy out federal workers constantly is leading to understaffing at airports all across the country right now. So it's not very far-fetched that this issue here could have been related to Trump freezing the federal government and not making sure these very essential areas are staffed.
Okay, but the way it's coming across in your screen is that instead of it being a cause, it's not. Okay. Instead of saying it as if it is something that is very likely, you should put it as a speculation and say that you don't know these things.
I do know these things. These are an issue. The first reports already came out about it.
Okay, but I also want to point out that and you said whenever we first started talking that under Biden administration, there was no plane crashes.
Yeah.
Okay, then why does it say that just in 2023 alone, there was 1,017 non-fatal and 199 fatal plane crashes?
Because those are private. Those are not regulated by the government. Those are private, usually private, like people have their own planes. That's not talking about commercial airlines or passenger jets.
Okay,
and that's what the FAA would cover.
That it's not,
that's what aircraft controllers would cover, for example.
Yes, but you do understand that all things in the sky are covered, like they're regulated by the FAA. You need approval for anything
We're
flying
talking
in the
about
sky.
federal funding directed, like in relation to aircraft controllers at airports. That's what we're talking about. Passenger jets. Of course, there's gonna be crashes for random people flying their planes or whatever they have. Of course, yeah.
Okay, but that's not the only. But that's not the entirety of that number. Wasn't just people privately flying airplanes. Some of it was caused by commercial flights. So to make the claim that there were 0 crashes through commercial airlines during the Biden administration was a false claim.
I'm trying to find one for 1 second. We have not had a fatal we have not had a fatal commercial airline crash since 2009 until now.
Okay. Where are you getting this information from?
This is Wall Street Journal. And also just our government records. We could look at any news story. We haven't had a commercial jet issue for a long time. But what do you think about Trump statements, for example? I just want to know your opinion. What do you think about Trump statements coming out today and saying it's because of DEI and about they allowed intellectually or developmentally disabled people. They allowed disabled people to work, and that was a cause. What do you think about Trump saying that?
I haven't seen anything about that.
That's convenient. Well, look it up. Trump said that it's DEI, it's Biden, it's Obama, it's Pete Buttigieg, and it's also mentally disabled people or intellectually, developmentally disabled people they were hiring, and apparently Trump thinks they put them in the aircraft the airspace controller or air traffic controller spots. So look up Trump's statement. I think I'm well within reason to say that Trump played a role in this, especially since he's not helping at all. He's still not removing the freeze on hiring. He's still not ending the really high pressured buyouts he wants to do with all federal employees. And they want to privatize like the TSA, for example. So if you look at Project 2025, this is all outlined, by the way. He's following Project 2025 to a T. All the federal freeze stuff, like the goal of the federal freeze, by the way, is not to eliminate like debt. You could read Project 2025. It's 900 pages or so, but the goal is to kill government programs. It's to drain them until they die. It's not to like make them more efficient and keep them, right?
Okay, but what about the fact that all the legal immigrants let in during the Biden administration?
Why are you going to immigration? We're talking about flights.
No,
okay.
but I'm asking a question. What is your stance on that?
I'm talking about the flight. Oh, okay, bye. It's like, okay, I'm losing a conversation. Let's go back to immigration or trans issues. It's always immigration or trans issues. That's why I get frustrated, because I want to talk about this one topic, stay on one topic, DEI and flights. DEI and flights. Tell me how this is affecting it. But no, you have to bring about the immigration or trans issues. Like, I'm very pointedly talking about this issue right now, which just had over 60 Americans die. What about Biden's immigration? Like, bro, can you handle having the conversation about that we're actually having? Like, I'll have an immigration. If someone calls in, by the way, and you want to talk about immigration, I'm open to an immigration conversation. But don't use it as a pivot away from your shitty arguments, okay? If you want to talk immigration, talk immigration, okay?
Call from from.
I don't want to build up a. I'm not building up a whole another conversation and then having you pivot to that when you lose. But we can talk about immigration. If you want to call about immigration, we can talk about immigration, okay? Hello? Okay. Cool. All right, call in again. If you want to automatically call in, guaranteed, you could Venmo or Cash App, like the notification or like my screen says, or you can call in and hope you get picked. Thank you for joining me. Drop a like on the stream. If you're watching, please drop a like. It's really big for the algorithm. Please go and hit that like button. Even my ADHDers out there with executive function issues or whatever it's called, like myself, go hit like. Thank you. Hello? You're lagging if you're talking. What's up? Oh yeah, your microphone's like dead. I don't know what's happening with your microphone. Yeah, you can listen to the stream to see what the issue is, but you sound like yeah, you sound like I don't even know. I can't even hear your voice at all. You can try calling back then. What is that issue? I don't know. I don't even know what that could be. I couldn't even hear him at all. He changes the subject when he has no answer. It's true. What about the immigration, bro? Killing me, guys. Killing me. What do you think about Biden's immigration policy? How dare you call in and not have any facts? By the way, they shut down the government for a reason. It's to find waste and fraud. What kind of waste and fraud? I don't know. Something. Bro, you guys are killing my content. Answer the phone. Stop hanging up. You guys are getting confused. Hello.
Hey there.
How's it going?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Pretty swell. What are you going to chat about?
So, first off, my condolences to the families of the people that lost their lives during this unfortunate accident. My heart goes out to every one of them. I've been listening to this podcast for a while now, and I just had a comment and maybe like a couple of questions. The blame game that's been going on, I certainly do not agree with it.
I agree.
But the thing is, the hire freeze was allegedly put in place 10 days ago. Am I correct?
Yes.
So even if the hire freeze was not there and the airport was understaffed, these 10 days would not have made any difference in filling up those employment gaps anyway, because the hiring process does not complete overnight, and even when someone is hired, the training and onboarding takes more than 10 days. So I understand that this could have.
So no, let me respond. Okay, so when you talk about that, okay, the 10-day hiring freeze, Trump is also pushing really aggressive buyouts. He wants to get rid of federal employees as much as possible. So he's pushing really aggressive buyouts. Now, air traffic controllers are already at a very, they're already at a really, they have a big shortage, okay, a big shortage in workers already. So the hiring freeze also meant, okay, if you're not fully onboarded yet, or if you're in your final interview, if you're in training, it could pause the funding for those programs to onboard you. But also, Donald Trump refused to participate in the presidential transition program with Biden. He refused to do a transition program. So a lot of this is because Trump came in with his baby mentality of not wanting to work with his fellow Americans. He refused. He's the first president coming in ever that did not work at all with the outgoing administration. Biden tried. So, for example, the FAA head of the FAA, Trump fired. Well, actually, no, he stepped down, I think, because Elon Musk told him to. Elon Musk has been pressuring him to get out of here for a while. And Trump was going to fulfill Elon Musk's wish because Elon Musk funded Trump's campaign largely. So there's no continuity between the administrations. There's already a very small gap here in where we are with like employees versus like what capacity we need to meet the standard. So yes, a 10-day hiring freeze and also just cutting down on ending the training programs, ending onboarding, all that kind of stuff can lead to huge shortages. And you can look up articles right now. Towers around the country at airports are now going to be vacant. a lot of airports are operating at minimum capacity. And now as this keeps going on, Trump has given no plan to get us out of this. He's just talking about DEI and blaming black people for what happened.
Okay, so if I may respond, just to put it out there, set the record clear, I am a person of color myself. So if someone comes for DEI, I am all for merit-based selection, no matter where one is. It should not be based on color. It should not be based on my ethnicity or my race or whatever, right?
Well, DEI
Now,
does not mean merit is thrown out. It just means that you're going to have more equitable numbers across different demographics, but you can go ahead.
So if the airports are operating at numbers where there are not enough people to fill the positions, as far as I'm concerned, if this is going to have an impact going forward, wasn't the previous administration responsible having all those fundings and all those federal programs running and not being able to fill those positions, having a DEI program going on, the funding going on, and still if it was understaffed, so the responsibility doesn't fall on them at all?
Well, I mean, under Biden and Obama, there were 0 issues, right?
I mean, accidents can happen any day. I can not have a car crash for
Yeah, but
my
this is
whole
tied
life,
to
and then
the,
I can bang my car, and
but
then I
also-
can bang my car tonight.
In general, if you're going to bring up DEI, there's no evidence at all that DEI had a role here at all. Like bringing that up is purely political for anyone that brings it up. There's no role for
I mean,
DEI here in this
I
conversation unless
100%
if you're
agree with
political.
you.
I don't know
I
why Trump brought it
100%
up,
agree with you.
and he brought it up the day after, 10 hours later, before there's even a report out. But there is a report about the understaffing, and that's what I'm saying. Moving forward, Trump should be reopening this right away. Right? He should be, if there's a staffing issue, but as the weeks go on, that could be a huge issue. And also just in general, our conversations about this topic are now about race and about gender and about if we allow too many black people in, then we're not going to be able to run run the airports. It is literally what like Fox News is saying tonight. So a lot of Americans are hearing that reciprocated, and we don't even know if anyone of color was involved in this, involved in this situation. But I mean, as far as the funding goes, I think there needs to be a clear directive to start it back up. Or yeah, there will be issues with aviation and safety, but yeah, we definitely need to get that going.
I'm a person of color myself, and federal funding cut for very critical roles like air traffic controls, 100% agreed. We should have enough people there. But in my humble opinion, just solely saying 10 days of cut on hire freeze, 10 days cut of the funding is solely responsible for all of this. I think that this was a problem in the brewing. Previous 4 years of administration didn't pay attention to it. They didn't make sure that there were enough hired people there. Accidents can happen any day. I mean, I can drive my whole life and end up in an accident any time. Human error is possible. Accidents are unfortunate and, unpredictable. So I personally think just saying that, 10 days of fire freezing and 10 days of federal funds cutting is solely responsible. I think the previous 4 years are also responsible for this when they had all the programs running.
Okay, all I know is, under Trump, crash happened, and Trump responded in a really bad way. And in general, like, DEI is not even, if we did a percentage for DEI funding, that is a percent of our, federal budget, it would probably be, 0.00001%. It really does not cost money to do that. In fact, it probably helped the hiring process going out to more diverse communities to get them to work in these fields, to do more outreach. This whole attack on DEI and trying to shut the government down. If you read Project 2025, Trump has followed Project 2025 to a T. I know he said he was not a part of it during the election, but if you have a chance, it's 900 pages, so it's a pretty long thing. But their goal is to shut down government programs and to drain government programs as much as possible. He wants to kill government programs off, essentially. They don't want to get rid of waste. They want to get rid of the government. And this is clearly said in Project 2025. The government freeze is included in there. And they are going to try to take away Social Security, Medicare, and stuff like that in probably year 2 or 3 of Trump's presidency. So there's a lot of stuff in there that's going to seem very prophetic. So I just would recommend looking through there. I appreciate you calling in, and I'll give you the final statement.
All right. Well, I would happily agree to disagree, and my heart goes out to the families that have lost their loved ones. God bless America, and God bless our nation. Take care.
All right, I appreciate it. I agree. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for $2, Ellipsis Does Gaming. The 129 event was Trump's fault. Oof. I got a lot of super chats. Thank you. Ooh, wait 1 second. Let me read them quick. And remember, if you want to guarantee a call in, you could do so through Cash App or Venmo. if you want to guarantee a call in, or you can try to call the line and take your luck. $10. Wait, $2. This bot is rooting for Trump. Thank you, James. $10 from Jordan. Blue Crab Food Network is proud to present swap fries, seasoned with tiers of stream viewers. This food allows anyone to circle back on their previous thoughts, also known as WAF fries. Coming soon. Thank you, WAF fries. Daddy, thank you for the $10 donation, Daddy. Bro, we are colorblind in this community. You stating that you are a POC doesn't make your argument more valid. Get the F out of here with that DEI. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. MJ B Set, thank you for the $10. Trump is the perfect leader for guide into an empire into its inevitable decline. This crash is not directly his fault. It is bad for standard operating procedure for DC airspace for decades, too crowded. He definitely contributed to it. And at this point, I mean, if he's gonna blame DEI and wokeism, then I'm blaming Trump, because he did actually do policies that are real, that are affecting this issue in a really negative way. And I mean, yeah, it's just. Thank you, $2. Thank you for $2. Sliver dining. I almost said thank you, $2. Thank you, $2. The Curtis Yarvin interview, is that one guy that's like Curtis Yarvin? Isn't he the person that wants like didn't Yarvin? Yeah, he's anti-democracy. Ex-computer programmer turned blogger. Yarvin does influence a lot of like JD Vance, for example. JD Vance, his stated goal is to tear apart American democracy. And I know people say you're fear-mongering, but they have said this. You could just like Google the interviews and Google the books and articles and like read them and actually do research on your own. But yeah, these are things that these people have said. I'm sorry if you get offended, but yeah, it's just kind of what they've done, you know. I didn't say it, they said it. They're pro like global dictatorship. They believe we are not really humans. They believe that we should be controlled by some type of technocrat or like AI bot or something. They think democracy is futile and democracy does not work. So those are the people in charge of the White House right now. JD Vance was handpicked by these people. Peter Thiel. Thank you. Thank you, some random dude. Try to call him 5 times to explain. Not Trump's fault. Most likely not air traffic control fault. Well, thank you for $5. You're saying not Trump fault and not air traffic control. You see, if you would if people spoke out against Trump in the same way they speak out against liberals, then we'd be in a great place. But they treat him like he's a child that doesn't know what he's doing. Like we can't yell at him. He doesn't know any better. Thank you for clearing that up though. Thank you for clearing it up. All right. Oh. Hello.
Oh, hey.
Going good. How are you?
Good, good. So I just wanted to add some insight for some of the people in the comment section that said they wanted it. As somebody who flies, I'm not going to identify myself, but as somebody who flies these aircraft, I can tell you pretty much what I'm thinking that went on and why I say this isn't pretty much Trump's fault, or I wouldn't even blame Biden for this, or DEI or anything like that.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So the first thing, regardless of like Trump's comments, I don't agree with him. I am a Trump supporter, but I don't agree with him blaming DEI for this. When you look at the accident and everything that happened with it, regardless of if it's flying in like crowded airspace, I fly around crowded airports all the time. There's a way that, the tower and air traffic control ECC will handle any kind of aircraft in a certain airspace, right? And under a certain flight level, you don't have any really rules for the FAA, so they can't control you unless you want to be controlled by them. You could just fly around. You could just, buzz around the airspace. But if you're in a class Bravo, which is going to be that airspace that they were flying in, there are certain rules you have to follow. So with all that being said, right, when I watched the video, when I listened to what I listened to and tried to look at all the evidence regarding it, the first thing is, like as people saying, military aircraft, when you're coming in for an approach as as the American airline was coming, you don't want other aircraft crossing that threshold, meaning where they take off and they land at, you don't really want other aircraft being so close to you, regardless of the elevation that they're supposed to fly at. I read reports that they're supposed to fly at, 200 or 300 feet or something like that. You want to make sure you don't cross that. And if you do cross it, you want to have permission from the tower, not really ATC. The only thing I can think of is if tower, for some reason, was busy, like they were saying that, he's understaffed. If he was handling multiple frequencies, let's say approach control, which approach is somebody who's going to talk to you when you're way further out. You're saying, hey, I'm coming into this airport. This is who I am. This is where I'm at. Do you see me? Right? That's what approach would do. And then they will transfer you to tower. When you get closer, tower's going to say, okay, you're cleared to land, blah, blah. If for some reason that guy was on the wrong frequency when he told the military aircraft to maintain visual separation and that call never got to that military aircraft, I can see that being the only way that would be his fault. But most of these airports usually broadcast on the same frequency if they're handling multiple frequencies. I've dealt with this multiple times. So if they say, if they're running tower and approach, they'll say, hey, stay on this frequency, stay up with me. So that military aircraft should have still been able, in my opinion, to hear, and he was asked to maintain visual separation. So in my opinion, this was a mistake on the military pilot. I see maybe he was distracted, maybe he was training. He could have been training the other pilot saying, hey, this is how we do this. This is where we fly at this time. It is night. I know a lot of people say, how come they didn't see the planes? At nighttime, those lights, especially if you're under night vision goggles, all the lights are very bright, and you can sometimes mistake other lights. If anybody wants to look up visual illusions in your comment section, they can. You can mistake other lights as being moving aircraft because you're moving so fast. The other aircraft are moving fast. There's also multiple aircraft in the air. So if that is going on, he may have been mistaken and thought he was maintaining visual separation and did not see. So that is the most likely issue. Trump's DEI thing, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Regardless of how anyone feels about DEI, I don't buy DEI playing a part in any of this because when that air traffic control person said maintain visual separation, he basically gave it to that pilot to be responsible enough to not do or not have what happened in this tragedy. That's my 2 cents on it. That's what I feel happened as a pilot myself.
No, that makes sense. And thank you for sharing that. As far as everything I read with the actual information, that does seem to be what likely happened. And they said something about like a training run, or at least I think I saw that in the media, so that would make sense. Yeah, my big thing with this whole conversation is that, and I hope that you as a Trump voter can at least reference this or use it in the future. The fact he was willing to easily, after seeing over 60 Americans die, including those in service, make up a lie today about DEI and blame Biden and Obama and Pete Buttigieg and all that kind of stuff. The fact he's able to lie that easily, and he actually called people dumb for questioning him for making that statement. I just hope it triggers alarms in people's heads, like, why is he lying about this, and what else can he lie about? And if you are knowledgeable about this field, it makes sense though, because imagine if you weren't from your background, like imagine if you did not understand like aviation like you do. Trump saying something about aviation then and blaming it on DEI sounds really stupid to you. That's how me, as someone who has a lot of training in policy, that's how he sounds to me talking about government policy. So to try to think about like those comparisons, if that makes sense, on how you feel hearing people talk about this and me when I hear people talk about like healthcare, for example.
No, I could completely understand that. I just want to make a comment on the one thing you said, and this is kind of my stance on all of this, and then I don't want to take up too much of your time and take you from your viewers right now, but my view on all of it is that, especially like you just said with what Trump said, and I agree with you 100%, if no one knows about aviation, they just hear that, yeah, they're going to blame them too. But it goes back to, I want to say, all the way to Bush. You have tons of presidents who will say things that are, to kind of abbreviate or say something, I guess slang, out of pocket, kind of that's just wild. Biden did it. Obama did it. I would say Bush did it. I don't remember too much about Clinton. Maybe he did so, but they all do. And I think the big narrative I would like to see from this is, regardless of who the politician is that's in the White House, regardless of who you support, when we start to believe these things that people say immediately without getting any facts, we immediately look to the other person who might be on the other side of the aisle and start to distance ourselves from that. And that's very bad, which is why, even though I may not agree with your opinions, my first thing I said to you was, how you doing, brother? Because if we let these things or these small little comments divide us, we'll never be able to come together to hold our government accountable. And as you said, somebody with, you understand policy, if you look at the Constitution, if you read the Federalist Papers, so many states were afraid to put in a federal government because of these issues and these reasons, right? Because giving somebody or one place that much control or that much power could have negative consequences. And I think it does. I think as an American people, we've allowed politicians to divide us too much, because if we all grabbed each other's hand and stood together, we can demand whatever the hell we wanted to from our politicians, but we don't.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, but like Trump is the most divisive politician of all time. He lies more than any of those people you brought up, and he lies about like complete fabrications. Like other politicians will stretch the truth, or they'll make something sound popular, but Trump will literally make shit up, and that's like the big difference. Like Trump is, I promise, Trump is 80 million times. He's not just talking shit. He's lying in a very racist way about this. He's saying they have weird genetics. He's saying they have low intelligence. He said they allow mentally disabled people today to work in the aircraft controller tower or aircraft control towers. Like he said a lot of stuff that's just like targeting minority groups on purpose to divide people, make them angry. So Trump is like by far worse than Bush, worse than Biden, Obama, probably combined. I feel like he kind of gaslighted the entire world about this. It's just kind of wild.
Hey, look, I'll end with this because I don't want to sit there and argue. As like you said before, what does code have to do with anything, right? So you're going to sit there and say that him saying that is more offensive than, like, let's say Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Or
yeah, I knew you were going to bring that. I knew the quote you were going to bring up because it's just a dumb quote. Like Trump is saying this about 60 people that died, though.
I'm finishing up, bro. I'm going to get off, and thank you for giving me your time.
No, I don't want to hear. I'm sorry. I just can't. Okay, you have to be able to tell the difference between like punching someone and shooting someone, or you have to be able to tell the difference between like, for example, our founding fathers. There's differences in severity between people. Saying everyone lies or everyone's the same or every politician does the same things is not true at all. Biden, for example, put into a law that his cabinet members could not do corrupt activities. They could not take donations from companies. Trump took away that executive order, so his cabinet members can be corrupt. It's an executive order. Google the Donald Trump executive order on gifts to his cabinet. Joe Biden put it in place so that his cabinet could not be corrupt and take donations from big corporations. And I could get it up on screen probably in 1 second. But Donald Trump revoked it so his cabinet can be more corrupt. So for like, there's so many issues where they are not the same, where we just don't give enough nuance to. And I just can't hear it as someone who actually understands it. And I'm seeing Donald Trump, and you brought up the Constitution. Our founding fathers also knew we tried a confederacy. We tried articles of Confederate. We tried having like just a state-run government. It did not work. We needed a strong government for the people and by the people to protect freedoms. Government protects freedoms. That's why like big corporations and big entities that have all the money in society are also governments. And we need our government by the people to be less corrupt so we can use the government to regulate those corporations and do trust busting like Teddy Roosevelt did. So that's a big issue right now.
I agree with you with the whole fact of that we need a government, or we need someone to hold corrupt politicians or corrupt.
But Donald Trump is literally Donald Trump is taking away every part of the government that can hold corrupt people accountable. He's taking away the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. He's getting rid of people. I'm just saying you are lost in the sauce. I need you to like you're a smart dude.
I'm not lost in the sauce.
You're a smart dude. Look up the corruption agencies. Look up the Trump corruption agencies that he's cutting right now that hold corruption accountable.
Look up
the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Just do that for me. Look up one thing for me. Look up one thing for me.
There's no point for it.
No, look up one thing for me. Look up one thing. Look up the executive order. Look up these. Okay, you can't handle tough conversations. It's fine. I'm just not having patience for it. I just can't do it. You gotta have personal responsibility to find out your shit. We're not doing that anymore, bro. I'm not sweet talking. Like find out. Have examples. Understand what you're saying. Like don't just say shit. Everyone's the same. It's not the same, bro. You would have been there during slavery, being like, Abraham Lincoln's the same as, like, the North and the South both have their common concerns. The North and the South have their common concerns. One side has neo-Nazis, the other side has, like, gay kids. The same thing. Both sides have the radicals. Both sides have radicals, dude. Trump has the neo-Nazis. The left has gay kids. Both are equal. I see no difference. The icons. Thank you for $20. Joel, I just saw that Biden last May signed a bill that allowed 5 more takeoffs and landings at the airport specifically. That was levied by Delta. Thoughts were DEI? Well, definitely not DEI. I mean, I could look up if this was a thing. But I don't think that would have caused this issue. And by the way, even talking fast, I'll let him talk for longer. I'm just not going to sit here all day and let him lie about things, okay? He chose his daddy. It's fine. They all lie, bro. He's just talking shit. When Trump says that immigrants are genetically worse than us and should be in camps, he's just talking shit, bro. Trump's just talking shit, bro. You don't get it. He's talking shit. He's just shooting it with the boys. It's not even a real problem, bro. He's just messing around with the boys, bro. Messing around with the boys. Nice. What's going on here? Is there a thing for this? At Reagan National Airport? I can't really find it. I can't verify it. Thank you for the $20. Thank you for $20. But I cannot find anything to verify what you just said about the planes. Yeah, the caller wanted to say his whole ideology and just leave. The poll shows how many Trump simps are in chat. Well, I could do a different poll that says, for example, should you call Trump daddy? Okay, I'm gonna do my reset for the night for my shorts a little bit earlier. Well, I don't have I need to buy a better software to do calls. If you can, go over to my horizontal stream. I have 2 streams up. The horizontal stream has less people in it, but I always have a halftime where I restart my shorts stream and take a little breather and then take calls again. Trump passed deportation bill for visas if you speak out against Israel. Interesting. All right, go to the horizontal stream on my channel. There's 2 streams up on my channel. I'll be right back with the short stream. Thank you, appreciate it.